Covering news where you live, this is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. First, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders will send Arkansas National Guard troops to the southern border this week. The governor said about 80 guardsmen will help the Texas National Guard in the efforts to control immigration. States like Texas have been dealing with an increase in migrants since the COVID-era regulations expired last month. Governor Sanders plans to talk about her decision at Fort Chaffee tomorrow morning. And new charge was added in the federal case of Amber Waterman. Last November, Amber and her husband Jamie, you'll remember, were indicted by a federal grand jury for their roles in the kidnapping and murder of Ashley Bush. Amber's latest charge is causing the death of an unborn child. The federal trial is set for December 4th. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State lawmakers failed to override Governor Kevin Stitt's veto of a bill dealing with tribal compacts. Overriding this veto would have extended the tribal compacts dealing with shared revenue of tobacco taxes by 1 year. The Oklahoma State Senate Pro Tem says they plan to revisit the issue in the near future as well.
There were 9 people missing today, 4 of which we know have told us their yes vote. We have the votes. We'll just have to find a day that is agreeable to everyone to come back up here and cast the vote.
All right, before we get to other news of the day, let's get a check of the weather with meteorologist Zach Scott. And Zach, those temperatures today, the feels-like temperatures, pretty hot.
Yeah, we've been right there on the edge of it, Joe, the last few days for northwest Arkansas. The mugginess has been down in the river valley, especially down into southern and southeastern Oklahoma, and that humid air has been there for the last week. That heat dome, that area of high pressure anchored over the Lone Star State and parts of Oklahoma over the last week, that's starting to spread our way, and that's why the heat's picking up, and south winds bringing that mugginess further north into 5 country. Temperatures for Wednesday, mid to upper 90s across northwest Arkansas, 95 to 98 degrees. Morning clouds left over from the overnight thunderstorms. That'll be on the decrease. We'll see sunshine sooner in the river valley. Highs will be hotter, upper 90s to triple digits mixing in. I think this is going to be common across the river valley to really close out the rest of the work week. You factor in that mugginess, heat alerts out for all of 5 country. Again, we've seen heat advisories for Oklahoma and parts of the river valley going back through the weekend. Now we're talking about feels like temperatures getting up to 100, 105 northwest Arkansas, river valley, south, southwest. Could see areas feeling more like 105 to 110 degrees. That's going to continue again for the next couple of days. We've got a southwest wind picking up for us, though, but this is what's bringing in that muggier air. It's going to be a hot breeze, but it'll be mixing up the air a little bit out there, Joe. We'll look for winds to be about 10 to 20 with gusts 20 up to 30 miles per hour in a few spots.
All right, thanks so much, Zach. Well, some tragic news for Razorback football fans as former Arkansas Razorback star and Whitehall football coach Ryan Mallett has died at the age of 35. Jonathan Acosta takes a look at his legacy and the outpouring of support for the former Hogs quarterback.
Ask any Razorback fan, consult any Arkansas record book, and they'll all tell you Ryan Mallett is one of the best quarterbacks this program has ever seen. Look at the outpouring of reaction from yesterday, and that'll tell you something even more important. Ryan Mallett was a great teammate and person. The Razorback legend died yesterday after drowning at a beach in Destin, Florida. Those who shared the field with Mallett, both at Arkansas and in the NFL, reacting to the news. Razorback teammate Ronnie Wingo Jr., former running back, shared the backfield with Mallett, saying in part, "Dang, 1-5, rest up, brother." Broderick Green, another running back, sharing that he had spoken recently with Mallett and that the two actually planned to catch up soon. Green ending by saying, quote, "Love you, man. Woo Pig Suey for life." After Mallett's Arkansas career, he was drafted by the New England Patriots in the 3rd round of the 2011 NFL Draft. There he played with Tom Brady and threw some passes to wide receiver Julian Edelman. Edelman reacting, quote, "Tough one to swallow. Thoughts are with the family. Hashtag RIP Ryan Mallett." Mallett also played in Baltimore and in Houston with the Texans. He was teammates there with J.J. Watt. Watt sharing his thoughts, quote, "Horrible news to read about Ryan Mallett. Gone way too soon. Rest in peace, brother." Mallett certainly leaves a lasting legacy, not just off the field, but certainly one on the field, too. Take a dive into the Arkansas record books, and you can't miss him. That 2010 season that he had to this day ranks as the single best season in Razorback history in terms of passing touchdowns and passing yards. For his career, Mallett finished with just under 7,500 passing yards, second all-time only to Tyler Wilson, and his 62 passing touchdowns, also second in program history to Brandon Allen's 64. Ryan Mallett was a son, father, coach, player, and teammate who will be remembered for a long time. He was 35 years old. May he rest in peace.
All right, well, thank you for joining us here today. Those are your top stories and weather headlines. Make sure to catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more. I'm Jo Ellison. Have a great day.